What's good? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Newest Olympian. My name is Mike Schubert. I'm the titular newest Olympian. I'm a 33-year-old man who never read the Percy Jackson books as a kid. I read them as an adult because I was on a quest to determine if society had been sleeping on the series. And then I watched the TV show and I'm seeing if society has been sleeping on it. And I don't think they have been, but just to make sure they're not, we have to bring in a very special guest because if there was anyone to make sure the people were watching the show, it's Percy Jackson's bully, the actor who plays Clarisse La Rue. It's Dior Goodjohn. Dior, how's it going?
That was a great intro. It's good. I'm really excited to be back. I really, really love doing podcasts with you and everyone from Seaweed Brand and Monster Donut. It just feels like home. So thank you for having me back. I missed ya.
I missed you as well. I didn't know until we were at set and you told me that I was your first podcast interview. I had no idea.
Yes,
I was so honored and flattered.
Definitely were. And it was the best experience I could have had. It was it set the tone for the way that I feel about all podcasts to this date. So you did a good job.
Nice. I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, you were my first interview that I did with anyone from the cast. So we had done the production team stuff because it was all when the strike was going on. And that's when New York Comic Con was. So I had done those interviews, but then you were the first person from the cast. And it's funny given the timeline of how this worked out, because that time I was recording it out of my sister's bedroom in my parents' place in Texas. Now I'm at Kelly's parents' place in Texas, my wife, and I'm in her sister's room. So we're always going with the sisterly recording vibes.
I love it. No, it's good.
Yes.
It's canon.
It feels very...
Podcast. I love it.
Yeah, I'll have to for season 3. I'll have to find someone else's
sister's
maybe I'll do from Kelly's brother's room. We'll just keep doing it from different sibling rooms.
Yeah, that's great.
But I'm so excited to have you here because season 2, it's a big Clarisse season. We had talked about it before season 2 that we were hoping season 2 would happen so that you could really showcase what Clarisse can bring to the table. And bring to the table you did. How does it feel to have the Clarisse season be fully out there with so much more that wasn't in the books?
It's so surreal. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's crazy. And it's so different, reading the scripts and then seeing it all put together. I don't know if all actors have this, but I feel like
Sure.
I don't visualize. It's like the writer has such a distinct, clear vision of what it should look like in their head. And I read it, but it's not the same as when you read a book, where it's very descriptive. You can paint this picture. It's a lot of it is left up to your own imagination and interpretation. So a lot of the time I get so caught up in the human of it all that I forget to picture what it would look like, and seeing it all put together and how all these intense moments click into this really insanely beautiful, well thought out puzzle piece. It's just amazing. I can't believe it's out. It's no longer mine. It belongs to the public and it's good.
I'm glad you take the Rick Riordan approach to it as well, because he's very big on it's done, it's out there, people can interpret it. And I think people have been really enjoying it. I've really enjoyed it. It was so fun watching it. I am not shy about how much I love Clarisse as a character, and I always wanted more from her. And now this season really lets us do it. That's what I was so excited about, is you've got a third person story. It's not just Percy's narration. So we get to see more of what Clarisse is going on. I know you, because of how we talked the last time, you are the number one scholar on Clarisse. When you first got that script and you saw how many things were going to be shown that weren't in the book, but just implied off page, what was that feeling like, just to see oh, I get to do this, I get to do this,
I remember catching the first script and being whoa, so we're committed, we're dedicated to redemption for Clarisse. She gets, we're gonna understand her now, we're saving my girl. I was so shocked at how committed we were to telling Clarisse's story, and it's just absolutely wild. And I felt so excited because I never knew. I was trying to figure out since season 1, okay, how can I play this without the language actually being there? How am I going to do that? Trying to figure out different ways to play her life without having the platform that I was gifted, that I didn't know I was going to be gifted in season 2. So it's really, really cool. And I will say, you know what? This is a total kind of a bit of a sidebar, but Shay Oh my gosh. Like, such
Yes. Shay
dude,
Worthy, we
such an
interviewed them for
amazing
the
writer.
show.
She gave Leah and I
Hmm.
the most insane platform, not only to showcase our lives as characters, but also it was like this beautiful gift, like woman to woman being like, I know what you can do. I know how talented you are. Go show them. Like, I was like, wow, like this is just amazing. I'm very, very proud of everybody that worked on this season because I know how much they put their hearts and souls and like just everything into it. And yeah, the Clarisse story, it was so much better than I could have ever imagined from start to finish.
Hmm. There's so many things added. It's so cool to see so many things like Clarissa's relationship with her dad, Aries. You finally get a scene with them together. And then you get to see Clarissa as a leader, doesn't start off super strong, gives that speech that doesn't go well, then gives the rousing speech later, connects with the crew. And something I learned, Clarisse has her own Myth of Magic set. So Clarisse is a secret nerd. Like, come on. Come on.
And you know what? That was the biggest plot twist. I remember when like Craig told me, I was like, I've never thought of this, but for some reason it makes perfect sense. Like, perfect sense. I'm like, this is so good. It's perfect.
It
Because
so
think about
works.
it. Like, I'm the daughter of the god of war, and I'm at a camp where I'm not technically allowed to kill anybody. So, where else am I going to let out my tactical skills if, like, it's past freaking, I don't know, like, camp hours? Myth of Magic, duh. I'm crushing everybody in my cabin 24/7. Like, yes, absolutely. It makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clarisse is the type of bully to make fun of someone like Nico for being super into Myth of Magic, but then going home and being like, where did he get that card from? How does he have... Oh my gosh, how does he have the Compe card? That was only in the expansion pack.
That's so real.
Yeah.
So Clarice, it's so real.
Yeah. Yeah. So I loved it. I loved seeing so much more stuff. It was fun. And then what was also cool was to see points where the story changes, where things I think make sense, but it's stuff that is different. So the one that really comes to mind is at the end of the story, instead of flying home on an airplane, Clarisse flies home on blackjack, which is just so cool. When those kind of changes came up, were you excited? I know other people on the cast, Walker and Arian, get really upset when there's changes from the book. How did you feel?
I think we're all quite scared. Like, especially when we get the white production drafts, we're like, are we, guys, hey, are we sure about this? Like, ooh. But, I think as more of the story comes together, as we continue to get scripts, it all kind of makes sense. So we're like, okay, like it does lend itself a bit better to the story. Like, once we start seeing everything fall into place, I was really excited about that because I don't know, it makes, I can't say why, but there's something about it that makes everything far more full circle and so much more rooted in the realism of it all, which is crazy because Blackjack is a Pegasus, but there's something about flying home on the Pegasus, having that moment with Percy holding the golden fleece, that it just tethers you to the world so much more. So seeing that, at first I was nervous, as we all were, but I think watching it, like seeing it in action, like live in the mix, was very good. I was happy. Please.
That's exactly what I thought. And it was the same line of reasoning, which I think is funny that you thought the same thing, is weirdly, it takes you more out of it for Clarisse to go on an airplane than it does for her to go on a winged horse.
Yes.
Because it's mythology. Percy's fighting snake women and giant dudes and all this stuff. And then Clarisse takes a bag of cash and goes to, I guess at the time,
like
Continental Airlines.
Like what?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, is Clarisse really taking off her combat boots because she doesn't have pre-check because she's a teenager? Like,
it's so true.
I can't imagine. Clarisse goes through with a water bottle and they're like, "Oh, there's too much liquid in that." Like, I can't imagine it. Like, and here's the big question.
Dark space and gets arrested like immediately. Like, oh, there's too much water.
Is Clarisse an is Clarisse a middle seat, window seat, or aisle seat? I feel like she's an aisle seat and she gets really grumpy when people have to go to the bathroom.
Absolutely. She's got to be ILC because what if something goes down? Like, she needs to be able to get her spear. And, like, for real, like, what if something goes down? Like, she needs to be checking the exits, like, all
Oh,
of these things. She's not sitting in the window, like, la-di-da, looking at the world. And she's also, too, not in the middle, using the other two as shields. She's, like, she's about that action, for sure.
I also like the thought that she would have to check her spear into oversized luggage, like when you have a ski bag or something, or like golf clubs.
I'm like,
She's standing outside the oversized baggage thing, tapping her foot impatiently.
Oh yeah. I mean, there must be some kind of thing. Like, there must be some kind of thing that she has figured out how to do to. Like, I feel like she doesn't even check it. Like, she just threatens everybody with the spear and is like, "You're gonna let me on the plane with the spear."
Takes up the entire overhead thing. It takes up 4 sections. Like,
Absolutely.
nobody put your bag on there.
Absolutely. Or not even putting it in the overhead compartment. Like, holding it, telling the flight attendants to piss off, and just intimidating everybody the entire flight. Because, like I said, she's about that action. Like, what if something goes down? Then everybody's gonna. You know what? If something goes down, y'all are gonna be happy that I was holding this spear.
Do we have a doctor on the plane? Do we have a daughter of Ares on the plane? Yeah. Maybe I'm talking myself into Clarisse being on the plane is more fun, actually, because this sounds great. I love this fan fiction.
This would have been a really hilarious scene. Like, actually, anyway, oh my god, this is so funny.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But anyway, as far as things that actually did happen in the TV show, I think one of the most fun things was Clarisse's crew.
Yeah.
Like, the crew is so cool that it's not just Confederate soldiers, but you've got all these different people from different wars that they've lost, including Mitch from Blockbuster in the streaming wars. Like, there's just so many cool characters. Was there one particular crew member that you gravitated to the most? Not even just because of like the actor, but is there anything of like the outfit? Was it the Blockbuster joke? Like, was there anyone on the crew that you were like, that's my number one, my right hand person?
You know, I loved each and every single one of them. They were all so dedicated, and they all had such different personalities. And like, it was very, very much, I feel like I was surrounded by mentors, which is really cool. Except for with Mitch. That's just my dog. Like, me and him were like on the same time for sure. I think Mitch is definitely one of the ones that are up there. I think Carrington, he was so amazing. Just himself, Adrian, he was such a mentor, and like, he's so talented and has been doing this for such a long time that like, he really was, he reminded me like what it was like to show up to set proper, like ready to work, like respectful of everybody. It was really beautiful. And Pierre Sean, I love him. He's just like my GVF. Like, he's so cute. I love him. He's so talented, singing show tunes all the time, knew the same references, like, for just stupid, like, comedy stuff from, like, Instagram and TikTok. But all of them were absolutely amazing. And then I remember, oh my gosh, my Thorvald, he and I would just get into talks about, like, the world and what it means to be alive, and how, like, he had this analogy that, like, you start drinking the cup of science and forget religion, and realize at the bottom of the cup of science is religion. It's like, we would get into all kinds of talks. I had the best, like, working with the crew was okay, I love my castmates, don't get me wrong, I love my day ones. However, family is family, and sometimes you get sick of your siblings. It was like so much fun to like have my time on set, like with like these guys. It was like, it was so fun. It was so sweet. Jason was directing us, and Jason is just a freaking ball. Like, Jason is one of the very few directors that like, we don't have the same process, but I get his brain, and I know he gets my brain, and like, we know how to have fun, but also lock in and be serious. And like, he's always putting me on game and keeping me like in mind when it comes to what films I should watch and like what music to listen to. So like, it was just like a perfect balance of field day and like serious work when I was working with Jason and the crew. It was awesome. Like, so awesome.
That's so good. It's great. It came through on the screen. Like, it just looked like such a fun dynamic, whether it was the early thing where they weren't connecting with Clarisse, or afterwards when you're on the same page, or even beyond that when you've betrayed them with the strategy move and all of that. Like, it was so fun at every level. And speaking of fun, there is the scene where they're all singing the sea shanty.
Yes!
And you can't get in. How hard was it, especially for you as a music girly? Like, how was it hard for you not to join in to sing what is such a fun tune.
But you know what? I had my fill before we started. Before we actually got the cameras.
Cool. Before they hit roll, you're singing with them.
It was so, because it was so funny. Like, they had them, because there were so many of them, they had a separate tent for them. And I remember walking by and hearing them sing. And I was like, I know you guys are not having a musical without me. So I walked inside. I got my conductor arms going. I did a little on the vocal cords. We were singing. We were harmonizing because Sean is like a Broadway baby. It was literally so much fun. I have a video. I'm going to post it. When this comes out, like, I'll like post on my story, be like, this is the moment that I was talking about. Because I have a video of like the dual camera from Snapchat of me being like, oh, hell yeah. And like, they're all just like singing. It was so much fun.
That's great. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, everything on the Ironclad was so cool. And it was also fun to see all the action on the Ironclad as well, because, you know, you're running and jumping, you're on the guns, like,
oh my gosh,
so much
Jason
stuff going
Bourne.
on. I know you were so excited. I know you were so stoked about all the stunts, especially because with the time jump, you were able to do more of your own stunts, given that you were old enough to do them. So how did season 2 feel from an increased stunt perspective?
It was really amazing. Like, genuinely awesome. The fights got great. Walker is so good. I enjoy fighting with Walker because, like, we really get in a flow, like, with the choreography. And he's just so in it all the time. I love it. Like, I love working with Walker. This is such a sidebar, but I love working with Walker. He's such a kind person. He's such a dedicated person. And he's very level. Like, everything is like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, it's so cool. And then getting to work with him, especially on a stunt level, like, we just get into it. We go and, like, we trust each other. And, like, yeah, it's great. Oh, man. I love him. Sorry. I'm like, this is so... Like, we were all hanging out.
No, this is good.
We were all hanging out the other day. And, like, we were all, like... It was, like... I think we were in, like, Sarah's, like, room at, like, the resident hotel that we were all hanging out at. And, like, we were all just talking. And, like, Walker, he's like, bro, like... I missed you, dog. Like, you disappeared. I was like, you missed me? Oh. But anyways, like, that's besides the point. I love my castmates. Like, I really do love them so much. But especially doing the stunts with them, because everybody's so good. That's the thing. There's not a single weak link. Nobody's bad at the stunts. Like, literally nobody. Because we also, too, like, our stunt team, they have raised us well. Like, everybody's very locked in. Everybody gets into a flow. It's super sick, like, watching everybody do their thing and, like, their little kind of ticks and nuances. And especially when you know, too, what their hang-ups are. Like, they know what my hang-ups are. I know what theirs are. Like, we can, like, help each other and make it look great. And it's super awesome and wild. I remember, like, this was the first season that I got put on, like, I've never been put on so many wires in my life. I got hung upside down. Yeah. I was climbing up a rope. I was almost in a net. It was crazy. And then I got to have, like, my, like, Tomb Raider moment where, like, I jump off the gun and slide on the floor. I'm like, here, take my... Yeah. It was just so sick. I felt like a total, like, BA. It was so awesome. And fighting with Beatrice, hey, I'll say one thing about Beatrice. Miss Allison Sims, she's no joke. You don't want to get in a fight with Beatrice in the real life. Oh, my God. Like... I love her so much.
She doesn't look like a joke. She takes it seriously.
She does. And you know what? I was watching her, like, on screen, like, when I texted her immediately, because I remember when I was shadowing Dan, and, like, we were, like, doing all the edits, like, we were, like, figuring out, like, how, like, the digital edit for her, like, falling off the cruise ship. And I remember seeing her scene, and I immediately texted her, like, girl, you just have that look. Like, you look like a movie star, and she's so talented. But one thing about her when she's fighting is, like, choreo out the window. It is all rage. She's like, I'm in it and I'm feeling it. And then when we were doing the freezer fight, I was like, oh my God, she's trying to kill me. Like, this is what that actually feels like. So, like, bless Beatrice. Shout out Beatrice. Because now I know the emotion I should be feeling when I'm fighting. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The real inspiration for me with Beatrice is the hair flips she does when she turns her head really quickly and sassily, and I don't know what the technical term, but, like, whatever little hair she's got going on the side, like, go and whip back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very inspiring
that's what I'm saying.
stuff.
Like, she just oozes movie star. It's like, movie star. I'm like, oh my God, Beatrice is crazy. Watch out. Beatrice is about to be the next Emma Stone, I swear.
I love it. She's fun. I was glad to see that Allison, who I thought Allison was toast during the battle. I was like, she's getting set up to die. And the fact that she didn't die, I was like, cool, we get more Allison. Because she's fun.
She's a sneaky fan favorite. I'm like, I want more Allison. Everybody wants more Allison. We need her. We love her. She's what we didn't know
Hmm.
we needed. She's what we didn't know we wanted for Christmas.
Right. That's what's fun with us as the super fans because she's so new to us. That's
Yes.
why folks like Emily and Phoebe from Monster Donut are so stoked because it's like, who is this? Who is she?
You
And
know.
it's a fun little bit of intrigue.
And,
You don't
she
know it all.
serves the story really, really well. Like, to be honest, like, I think we were all like, what's going on? Like, with Alice, like, what's the new, like, what is happening right now? I remember we saw Alice's because she's in the first episode. Like, I remember we saw that script and we were like,
Yeah. First
oh,
scene.
yeah. We were like, guys, what's going on? Like, we were all a little freaked out, like, not gonna lie. But again, like, as we see the pieces come together and like how it lends itself to the story, like, it's just perfect. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, relatedly, you've got the other person, mainly who's the non Luke camper that we know in the book is Chris Rodriguez, who
Yeah.
obviously has an interesting situation with Clarisse. And now the way the show has done it, it might be a little different. I don't know. Like we got the thing where clearly Clarisse has some interest. Chris seemed to not be interested. The Chris has gone evil is quite early, whereas I don't
Yes.
think we learned that until book 4 in the book. And there's
Yeah.
the whole like off scene at the timeline of book 3, Clarisse Chris R thing. So
Yeah.
as Clarisse with the Chris R stuff that happened, how's that all feeling? You know, obviously I'm not trying to like get
No.
spoilers for what's ahead or
You're
anything
chilling.
like that, but
You know what I will say? I think we got what we needed out of the relationship. Like, we got enough of what we needed out of, like, we see how much she likes him and how much he is adverse to her. But what I will say, I also do agree that the betrayal of it all comes quite soon. I hope that in season 4 we get to see a bit of flashback. I don't know if we will. I really don't know if we will. But we'll find a way to play it. When it comes to the him turning evil so early stuff, Kevin did such an amazing job that I literally could care less. I'm like, you played that so well. I remember that day.
He had me fooled.
Yo, like, I remember that day that we shot that, and Kevin is he's such an amazing. He's just like me. That's my brother for real. Like, we're literally the same person. Like, we both make music. We're both dedicated actors. Like, he's just so amazing. I love him so much. But I remember it's that moment when, I don't know if you can see it in the edit, but there's like a moment where like he turns around and like he has like crazy eyes, and like that's the moment
Yeah.
you know he's like switched. And I remember being so in it with him on the day. It was like that moment from The Shining of like, here's Johnny. I'm like, whoa, like, what is going, like, this is okay, brother, like, whoa. But he's so talented, and I think I'm excited to see how we play the the alleged romantic relationships outside of
Sure.
Elizabeth in this show. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
how it's gonna feel, how it's gonna look. Like, I really do. I'm interested. So I'm right there with you and the rest of the viewers of like, I wonder how this is gonna happen. But I'm excited. And I think
Mhm.
anything that does
Yeah.
happen, Kevin is so talented that I think it's all going to play very, very well, and it'll make sense when it happens.
Yeah. I think so too. I'm really excited. I'm excited for all of what is to come ahead with Clarisse because the book 4 and book 5 stuff is really fun because that's where we get to see a different side of her. And the fact that
Yes.
we've already seen a different side of her starting in season 2, I think it opens the door for further exploration or different exploration. Like, we've already set the tone of like, we've got more Clarisse. So when we get to the canonical part where we get to see what Clarisse is really all about, we already have so much that we've seen so far that it's going to feel
Absolutely.
valid and earned, and it would make, if they decide to add or change or twist, it'll all feel legit. I'm so stoked as a big Clarisse fan. All about it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being such a big Clarisse fan. I so appreciate it. I feel like she's one of them ones where it's like, if you like, you're a real one. Like, if you like Clarisse, like, if you're about it with Clarisse, I'm like, you understand human dynamics. Like, that's really cool. That's sick. But I also feel the same way. I feel like Clarisse is arguably, no, I won't go as far as to say that. Among many other characters in the book, I feel like Clarisse is a part of that lineup of the ones who are the most human out of them all, you know?
Mhm.
in terms of
Sure.
just in terms of like how it relates to real life, like things that like people are constantly going through on the day to day. But you're right. It's gonna feel, that's the perfect word for it. It will feel earned. Like it's like, okay, this makes sense. I feel comfortable with this happening. I understand why, and I'm ready to sit in it with Clarisse because I get it. It feels earned and it makes sense. Like that was perfect wording.
I do what I can. My job is to talk professionally, so I'm glad I'm good with words. That's I got a lot of practice.
Professional yapper. That's the job.
That's the thing. Well, that's even my daughter talks way more than like a kid her age should. Like she's far advanced in the speaking. People are always like, "Oh my gosh, wow, she has so many words." My kid at that age had a couple. It's like, well, her dad does talk professionally, so she's getting it from somewhere.
My daughter, literally.
She's the best. She's the best. So there is a scene in episode 4
Yes.
that when I saw it, I was so stoked to ask Walker about it because I thought it was very interesting. It was something that I'd never seen before. It was someone use a spoon to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And as the person on the other end of that, were you as confused as me? Because I came into the press junket interview being like, Walker, why the heck did they make you use a spoon? And he was like, I use a spoon and that's normal. And Daniel and Leah were like, that's weird. And then I posted this clip on social media and like more than half of the comments were like, I use a spoon. What are you talking about? So like my worldview on peanut butter and jellies has been completely shaken to my core by Walker Scobell and the internet. And I'm wondering, as the other person in the peanut butter and jelly scene, where do you stand on knife, spoon, everything?
I've used a knife my whole life. Actually, not gonna lie, that's low-key BS. I use whatever utensil I can find, like for anything. I also prefer
Fork,
to just eat
straw,
with my hands.
corkscrew.
I'm like, whatever works. It's gonna get out the container onto the bread anyway. But logically, it makes more sense to use a spoon because you grab more product. You can like do that thing where like if this is the bread, like you scrape this like the thing, you completely clean the spoon, and then you can use the flat end to properly smear it without ripping into the bread. Like it makes the most sense, arguably, to use a spoon to make a PB&J.
Yeah, I think my hang up though is you're dirtying twice as many utensils. And maybe this is me showing my age because at my age I have to do my own dishes.
Because you have to cut the PB&J in your opinion.
If you do the way that Walker does it in the show, he takes the knife and the peanut butter and puts it on the bread, which I think is like normal consensus. No one's arguing against that. There were a couple people who were like, I use a spoon for both of them. And I'm like, what's going on? Because there's like the peanut butter's not going to come off the spoon as smoothly. And you'd have to risk like rubbing it on the bread. Yeah. But then he puts the knife down, gets a spoon, spoons out the jelly, which I do agree, like spoon is easier for getting it out. Yes. I think a knife is better for spreading, but spoon is definitely easier for getting it out. But then you have a dirty knife and a dirty spoon, and now you have twice as many dirty silverware. And maybe this is because I'm an adult that has to do his own dishes, but now I'm doing twice as many dishes.
No,
and if you're a kid, really you're just like, mom's doing them.
That's really valid, and you're right. That is really valid, and you're right. I feel like it makes more sense in, like, IMO to use it, because it also depends on what kind of peanut butter you're using. Like,
chunky or smooth,
personally, don't get me wrong, I love a good Skippy. I love a good Jif, like those, like, OG peanut butters, but I am an LA almond mom kind of girl. So, like, I'm going to be using, like, the runny kind of, like, really natural peanut butter.
Give me the stir it.
Like, so it's going to come off the spoon properly, wipe the spoon clean on the bread, then use what's it called? You know what I'm saying? And then use the spoon to get the jelly. I do personally think that it is easier to spread those things with a spoon because you're not risking like pushing too hard and cutting the bread. That's the part that I hate the most about having to smear butter or smear anything. I'm like, I'm going to hurt my bread and I want a nice flat, like I need the texture of it to be flat, like when I eat it. And then I understand the dirtying of the dish because you're going to have to cut it. But I also argue we're a little bit grown in this house. We can eat the crust. We don't have to cut the sandwich.
That's where I'm at. Yeah. Eat the full thing. But so you're on spoon the full way. Now we've got the full spectrum. I'm knife the full way. You're spoon the full way. Yeah. Walker is team knife and spoon. So we've covered the full PB&J spectrum.
I stand by
good.
it.
This is the hard hitting journalism. I love it. Wow. Okay. There are some people in the comments who are like, I use spoon for every part. So those people are going to feel very seen. Very, very,
This
very
is
seen.
true. But I'm also also at the same time, I'm one of those people that like I will use a fork for everything. I'll use a fork to eat rice. I'll use a fork to eat my steak. I'll use a fork to eat soup if I can, because I'm like, what's the like this is a multi-use utensil. Like I can use this for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. That's like a whole. That's like that puts us in an entire different like. Oh, that conversation would go on forever.
Sure, but like, yeah, sometimes it always comes down to what's left in the silverware drawer too. Because sometimes like all the spoons are dirty, and then it's like, all right, I'm eating this yogurt with a fork. Like, you can get it done.
Like here we go.
You might have
like,
to scoop a little, but you can get it done. You can make it work. You got to make it work. You got to make it work. So speaking of making it work, something that I think you work with very well in the show is when you do the Clarisse like smirks and laughs when you are either fighting someone or winning the chariot race. It's so compelling. It's so captivating when you're doing the 5-on-1 and you're like smirking, like laughing and giggling to yourself as you're fighting people. Like it's just so good. Are these things that you practice beforehand? I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew, the acting coach, has little tips like what all goes into the little laughs and smirks, because these are these tiny things that last for fractions of a second, but they say so much about Clarisse as a character.
Yeah. You know what I will say about it is it all started in season 1 during the capture the flag fight, the portion on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if it was James or Andrew or both, but it's like Clarisse, like it's like it's the first season. I'm not a series regular yet. Like I'm with Walker and everybody is always talking about, oh my God, it's Walker so well. I'm like, oh shoot, I guess it's okay. Like I gotta be nervous. So, and I have this idea in my head. I'm like, oh, Clarisse, like she's a fighter. Like this is like her thing. Like she fights. So like I was very serious. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Like you know what I'm saying? And then I think I can't remember if it was James or Andrew or both, but I'm pretty sure James like was like, do something, like have fun, have a little fun with it. And I was like, okay, yeah, that would make sense considering that fighting is what I do. Like I'm having fun. Like it's like it would make sense, and it's arguably more freaky that I would enjoy watching somebody be scared. Like that's just nuts. Like, and of course that's who she is, So it became a thing. It was a very like canon moment for me when the first giggle happened, because it just never stopped, and now it just happens naturally. I'm like, what are we doing? Who are we gonna fight today? Like it's fun. Yeah, because it's like the energy of Aries invokes rage in everybody else, but because it's in my blood, it makes me excited, and I'm like, I think that makes perfect sense.
I also love that it even makes Clarisse relax, because after you win the 5-on-1 fight, I believe the line is, oh, I needed that, which is just such a funny thing where most people would say that after a nap or a shower or a nice cup of chamomile tea. But for Clarisse, the most relaxing thing is kicking the crap out of 5 people at the same time.
Absolutely, because think about it again. Like if the energy of Aries makes people's blood boil and enrages you, and I literally have it coursing through my veins all the time, and I live in a society where I have to live by the rules. I can't just go and beat somebody up if I want to, like, and I have to restrain myself. What do you mean I get to fight 5 people at once and kill them because I'm not at camp? This is so lit. Like,
It was good. Like, it was fun to see. I was so excited because when we, as the podcasters, toured the set, we got to speak with the stunt people, and they showed us some of the stunts that they did. They showed us the stunt where you catch Percy. And then one of the other ones they showed was the 5-on-1 fight. And it was just so funny because we're in the stunt room. We don't know what the plot of the show is. They're trying to not tell us everything. And the stunt people are like, yeah, so there's a part where Clarisse fights 5 people. And we're like, okay, great. Like, sign me up. And then they did some of those fights. And the spear twirling was already good before, but the spear twirling in season 2 is like next level stuff. I was fortunate enough to receive a spear twirling lesson from you. If folks at home want some key insights as to how to improve their spear twirling game, do you have tips and tricks for the listeners of ideal spear twirling practice?
Okay. You know what it is you make sure the spear is at the correct place in your hand. So you always want the weight to be distributed evenly. This way, the spear will be doing all of the work for you. You want to keep it close to your body and in a straight line. Like, always imagine that, like, you're between two walls. So it's always in a straight line and close to your body. And make sure that the middle of the spear is what's the, like, kind of like access, like, in your hand. This way, when it starts twirling, you're not really doing any work. It's just the momentum of the spear taking itself.
Yeah. Look, I would encourage folks to make sure you have enough room in your house so it's not like you in your audition tape where you're smacking stuff.
Also, probably do it outside in an open field.
Yes.
Don't go
with
breaking
not
any
a lot
of your
of people
parents,
around.
like, China. Like, please.
Yes, the New Olympian podcast and Dior Goodjohn are not liable for any damages done to your
Dude,
parents' platewares. No, but it was fun. It was great to see. I was so excited for you because I know how stoked you were for the fights, for there to be the big fight there. Super fun stuff. And speaking of spears, there's someone else who starts using a spear that we get to meet this season, and it's Thalia. She's got her big shield. She's got her big spear. What was it like welcoming in not only Thalia as a character into the show, but also Tamara as a new member of the crew who is going to be incredibly important in the next season for sure? And obviously there's lots of hype. What was it like just welcoming the character and the actor into the fray?
You know, I immediately clicked with her when I met her. And it's something that's not by choice. That is completely divinely aligned. Like, I remember it was the first day that I met her, and like we all took that photo together and we like did the same little pose together, and like I was like, this is gonna be my girl. Like, that's my sister right there. And so it was. She's so incredibly talented. Such a similar process acting wise to me. One of the most dedicated people that I've seen on this set when it comes to her process and her work. She does such an amazing job at Thalia. And talk about like the little things, like those little 0.2 second moments that completely make the character. She's a master at those for Thalia. Like, I got to watch her work during the week where in the books where she first comes back to camp, like after being alived, you know? And she just does, I'm not going to spoil it, but she does these like little like things, like these like little tiny personality quirk things for Thalia that are so beautiful and so perfect. And she's taken very good care of her. I think the fans are going to be very happy. I'm very proud of her.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, that's that. She's the life. She's like the life in the ecosystem that I don't think we knew we needed. Like, one thing about T is she knows how to work-life balance. It's very much work hard, play hard. It's like play hard, work harder. Like, that's how she is. And it was getting to a point where like all of us were like very like thespian and like stoic and, you know, like doing our whole thing, and like as we should be, absolutely. But T kind of came around and was like, hey, it's not that deep. We can work super hard and give an amazing performance and also still be freaking 20. So yeah, she's amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, I love her.
That's good.
Great.
That's good.
I think the world's gonna fall in love with her, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm. I'm really happy to hear that, because I think what's so nice about this production in terms of the way that it works from top to bottom, like the behind the scenes people, on screen folks, like it feels like everyone's very invested in making sure that everyone's having a good time, the actors included. You all seem really taken care of really well, which obviously actors and younger actors, child actors, there's the history of things not going well. It seems like so often it doesn't go well, but the way that the showrunners have it to where like your parents are always around and filming and at these events, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Your mom is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And it's so cool that she's like at filming and the premiere and she's gassing you up. And that's really cool. Like, it's also nice to see that when newer, older actors like Daniel comes in and is like an older brother, T comes in, like you're saying, comes in giving you that perspective on work-life balance. Like, it really feels like you all have a lot of smart mentors around you. And then Andrew
Yeah.
obviously is like a life coach in addition to an acting coach. It
Oh
just
my
feels
God.
like from top to bottom, everyone is really invested in making sure that you all have just like a good mindset in approach to it. You're not going to get burnt out. You're going to do the best in terms of your performance on the screen and how you feel off screen. It just feels like you're all being really well taken care of.
You know, the show has changed my life, like absolutely, completely, in the best ways. And it is true. Like, I think this is one of the shows and one of the networks where, like, us being on Disney Plus and them having their merger with Hulu and like that whole thing, it's given them so much more to stand on in order to be able to like invest in their actors. And like, I've never been on a show where I've been offered therapy before.
Cool.
Like that's what Chapel Roan was freaking talking about when she won her Grammy. Like record labels do better. Like, and Disney's really trying to take a step to be better and do better. And I really do feel like, as you know, there's stuff. Every kid, every family, every person, we all have our things. But with being on this show, like it doesn't, we are so well taken care of. It doesn't negate the fact that we're going through stuff, but we have so many resources available to us. And if we just for 1 second kind of try to remove that mental idea that like, oh, I shouldn't say anything, it'll be too much, I know that like I will be met with open arms. Like if I can get out of my own way, or like my castmates get out of their own way. And I think that's really, really beautiful space to be in, because that does not happen all of the time, especially not for kids, which like it should have been. It really should have been, but it's great. Like, we have such great, and Daniel is so amazing as well. Like Daniel is like the most sound level real person that you can talk to. Like if you're going through something, he removes himself from any drama, but clocks your emotions immediately and is always there for you when you need it. Like, we have the perfect storm of everything. And I always say this, it's like a family's a family. We all have our moments. Like everyone has their things, but I know that when push comes to shove and the fat lady sings, like we will be there for each other in a way that is like very, very almost like military, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like if
Yeah.
one person in the chain is hurt, we're all like, none of us are moving forward. Like we are there until the whole unit is fixed.
Yeah, I like it. I can very much see that you all are a unit. And I think one way that that shows, especially with the press tour, everyone's fits are really good. You guys seem, I don't know if you're sharing fashion tips. I don't know if we're all talking back and forth, but like everyone's got their own style, but everybody is absolutely fitted at the Comic-Con events and the press junket stuff. Like I love when I did the press junket with you, Arian and Charlie, you all had like a hair and makeup situation going on in between the recordings. I was so jealous. I was like, where's my makeup? Where's my hair department? I'm out like doing my hair in the hallway using the reflection of a framed photo on the wall in the hotel, being like, does my hair look okay? These cameras are so high def. But I feel like you all, I mean, some especially like Charlie seems super duper into it, but fashion in terms of all of you, especially because you're doing all these photographed and videographed events, what's the fashion game like for everyone? What's all the process? Are you getting like outside clothes sent in? How does it all work?
Man, it is a process, let me tell you. It's different for everybody. It's different if you have a stylist. It's like you found a stylist to work with, or if you're literally doing it all by yourself. I know for mostly everybody, it was a mixture. Like some of the outfits were self-styled and other outfits were styled by a stylist. But really, typically, the way that I do it, and I know the way that Leah and I do it because like we're looking the same, is like we come up with Pinterest boards of like exactly what we're thinking, what we're looking for, what story are we trying to tell. Like I'm also so A-type. It's a little bit like I feel bad for the people around me. I make so many lists. I have so many lists. I remember for my stylist, I had these separate vision boards of like what each premiere look should look like and what like each press event look should look like. And in each Pinterest board were sub boards of like London, what London the vibe is going to be, what Madrid the vibe is going to be, what LA the vibe is going to be, like all different types of things. And then I wrote her a document of like what materials I wanted to use and why I think it would be cool to have mixed metals because of Clarisse's spear, because it's celestial bronze. And like all this like so much, but I think it's just because I really in my like adolescence have found such a love for fashion, and I feel like I'm so behind with all the fashion girlies that are out there. I'm like, hey, I need to catch up. Like I need to get out there. So like I really have such an affinity for like taking my time and like putting in the effort for the little details, especially on things like press tours, because you can tell stories with your clothing
Yeah.
really, really well. And I think Leah
Mm-hmm.
did such a good job of that with her premiere looks. Like genuinely. I am such a fan of what she did for each city, like each premiere. It was so perfect. It told the stories beautifully. Very, very, like very impressed, very excited. But yeah, and then for the boys too, like it's really funny because we all really do have our own styles. Like Leah is so cute. She's such a girly girl. I love it for her. Like it's so adorable. It almost gives me like that era of Ariana Grande. Remember when she was wearing all those baby doll dresses? Like that just like screams Leah to me, and it's
Okay.
so her. And then for me, I like to be a little bit more androgynous in my fashion. Like I like it to reflect like who I am. So it's like there's might be one thing where I'm so glam and I have like this long train dress, and the other second where I'm wearing like snapbacks and like because I'm like yeah, because that's just me. And then Charlie,
The range is really strong.
hey, we be out here, but you know Charlie is so adorable to me because man, he is just an LA boy, like down to it, like to heart. Like there, I've noticed there's such a way that people dress in LA. It's almost like this like subconscious formula. Everything is very like simple, but like it's all goes together, and it's very casual and laid back and just like yeah. And like Charlie is so that like his fits with like the ring and the sweater and like the one open button. I'm like maybe he comes to the junket with a matcha. I'm like Charlie, do you have a tote bag as well? Like what's going on? But I love it, and I love it, and it fits him so perfectly. Like he pulls off that style. Like, he makes it look good. And you know, someone and Aryan, I love him so much. Like he is just like Aryan and I have had so many talks about fashion because I'm like, there's so many houses that I want you to like be the face of because we all. I'm gonna be on. We all talk about it. Of course, we talk about it. Like we all talk about like the houses that we want to do like fashion campaigns with. Like we all do. And I remember Aryan and I got into a really deep conversation about it because I was like, you can't be with a fashion house who gives like cold. Like you need to be with a fashion house that gives warm. Like Laura Piana or like Brunella Cucinelli. And he was like, huh. And then like I remember he texted me one day. He was like, I just saw. Oh my god, it makes total sense. Like blah blah blah. And like. Daniel, I can appreciate him so much because he likes to take risks with his fashion.
Yeah.
He's the one that will pull up with like a like pearl beaded suit and make it look good.
That at San Diego Comic-Con, it was a really good look.
Yes.
I liked that one a lot.
And it was so funny that I love and makes me feel so happy and appreciate so much is like he was like, well, I know you're gonna go all out with your fashion, so it makes me feel more comfortable to do that. And I was like, Daniel.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Oh, that's good.
And like the last thing
yeah.
I'll say is like with Walker, that man is just Chris Evans. Like he's Chris Evans in the summer or Chris Evans in the winter. And I freaking love it. And I think it's perfect for him. Put him in a turtleneck sweater in the winter. Put him in some double RL in the summer. Done deal. Like that's that. And I think it's so perfect. Like everyone is so in their niche and I love it.
I will have to make sure that I send this entire segment to Kate Adair, season 2's costume designer, who I interviewed yesterday for the show.
Gosh.
And you'll be very excited to know because of our press junket thing where we were talking about Charlie's tracksuit as Luke with the key pattern. And instantly you were like, well, obviously it's Versace because of the key pattern. And he was like, well, obviously it's Hermes because of Hermes. But Kate, I was asking her about that jacket specifically. And right away she was like, well, it's inspired by a Versace because of the key pattern. And I was like, Dior clocked it instantly. Instant clocking.
I knew I was right. Oh my god, I'm gonna so shove this in Charlie's face. Oh my god.
Like, I respect the pun that he was going for. As someone who loves puns and fashion, I'm very in the middle where I see both of your arguments and I appreciate both of them.
Hey, we don't gotta be fighting. This isn't you. This isn't you.
There's being right for different reasons. But the fashion stuff is really fun. I love seeing everything that you all wear. I agree that like everyone's got their style and nothing feels forced. Like every time you see all the different looks, it's like that does feel like something that this person would wear. It doesn't feel like someone trying to wear something else. Like it feels like you all are honing in on your own individual styles, even if it's something where, you know, someone's looks might be more consistent or yours have more range, but like it still is telling the tale of who you are. And I appreciate that because like I'm super into wearing different clothes and trying different things. And I always put so much detail into like when I do live shows for TNO, it's always like I'm wearing these socks because I looked up the city flag where we're performing in. And in the top right corner, there's like someone on a sailboat. So I had to wear socks with an anchor. And like I always do these like tiny little things. Like
so
I think you're so right about being able to tell a story. Like fashion can say so many things, and I always think it's fun, like from tops down to accessories, shoes to bags, whatever it is, like you can really say a lot with what you're wearing.
Fashion is art in motion. Like fashion is wearable art. It's a physical piece that you can move with and take with you all the time as a token. And I am so appreciative of everybody in the fashion space, like big brands to the most insane indie brands that like don't get the credit that they deserve. Like I really do think clothes are not just clothes. Like clothes are a statement, and I love it.
Yeah. And it's also like, obviously you guys get the opportunity to work with these awesome brands and fashion houses and stuff, but it doesn't have to just be the expensive stuff. Like one of my favorite additions to my wardrobe, because we were just traveling in Australia, New Zealand, we flew Air New Zealand.
Yes.
And they give you free socks if you know, like go on the plane. And they're like nice. I'm wearing them right now. They're stylish. They're different colored blues and greens striped. I have a couple of pairs of free socks from the airplane that they're like, oh, walk around in these. And like, look, they're a new part of the wardrobe and I'm loving them.
I love
so
it.
Like
hey,
there
Nick
is
loving it. I love it.
It doesn't just have to be the expensive stuff. Like you can find it in a lot of different ways. All right. There is a question that I was very excited to ask you more, getting back to the show of it all.
Yes.
There's the scene where Clarisse is picking her team for the quest when Tantalus says you get to go on the quest.
Yes.
And she picks Annabeth. And then the show makes it set up like she's going to pick Percy because Percy makes the very good point of, hello, I'm the water guy. You should probably bring the water guy. And Clarisse is like, good thinking, kid.
Yeah.
But then Annabeth whispers something in Clarisse's ear. Clarisse whispers a little something back. And then it's a pivot to Chris Rodriguez. I don't, again, not trying to get like spoiler stuff or if it's stuff I'm not supposed to know, but like, was there something specifically scripted or was the script just like Annabeth whispers to Clarisse, Clarisse whispers back? Did you and Leah come up with something to say to each other? I was so intrigued by what was said but not heard.
You know, I will say it is not as deep as you think, and that is very disappointing, but it's just, it was Annabeth whispers to Clarisse, Clarisse whispers back, and Leah and I are such goofs together, like on the low, like we can't be taken seriously. Like, so she was like, like we were like having like sassy whisper talks, but also I was like in the peak of the worst cold that I had in my life.
Oh no.
While we were filming this scene. So I feel so bad, but every time, and like my nose was just running. So every time I would whisper, it wasn't a whisper, I was just going, and it was like everybody could hear it on the mic, and Leah was probably so grossed out because it was right next to her ear. But yeah, I mean, that's what it was. Leah was sassy whispering at me, and I was just sniffling, like it was, I was trying to keep the loogies from coming outward like this. Like, it was something. That day was something. And I had my own tent that day, too. They quarantined me. Kevin was nice enough. He visited me in my quarantine tent. I posted a video of it. I'm basically almost chronically online sometimes, but I remember I made this like Clarisse like TikTok account where I try to post as if it's like Clarisse's TikTok.
Sure.
Like if she had a TikTok. And like one of the videos of Kevin like in the tent bullying me, like totally like how Chris would like bully Clarisse. I'm like, so you like me because you're mean to me. Duh. It's so funny.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The other thing from that part of the show that I think was such a fun scene from start to finish was when Clarisse goes to the Oracle, because you get to see what I love about Clarisse, which is that from time to time, she's a fake tough guy where she's on her own and no one's around and she's like clearly scared. But if anyone else was in the room, she'd put on this big angry face. But she's obviously spooked, gets so spooked by the Oracle that she beheads her, and just the comedic chops on that. Your like yikes face after you behead the Oracle was so funny. It was so
Oh
funny. Yeah, I
man.
think you did a great job. When you're actually doing that scene, like, did you like, was there a doll for you to behead, or was it just like you do it off screen? Like,
Dude,
how was that one shot? Because it was so fun.
I honestly can't remember. I think there was nothing there on the day, like on for that specific moment. I don't think there was anything there. But I remember I had a half sword. So like the sword itself is kind of just the handle and like a nub of like the
Oh,
actual sword,
okay.
and it's blue. It's covered in this like blue screen kind of tape so that they
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
edit in the head and the knife cutting it off. So like I have this thing like this, and I'm supposed to be like, and I remember being like, I really hope it looks like I'm giving the right momentum on this, and I remember too, I was so nervous about the chop looking right that like when I made the face, like the like yikes face, like I was like, I look back at that yikes face all the time and like, oh brother, come on, do better. But it was, I'm glad that you found it funny. But yeah, that day was really, that day was something for sure.
It's good. The final question I wanted to leave you with, because I know you are someone who loves to read in between the lines of Clarisse. There's a lot of discussion about why, when the Oracle's green mist comes out and a face is shown, that
Mm-hmm.
it is Clarisse. Because in the books, I don't think it's ever
No.
established why or who shows up. And in the books, it is canonical that when Percy sees it, it's Smelly Gate, but there's no reason why. A
Mm-hmm.
fun fan theory that I saw online was that, well, Percy saw Smelly Gate because it's the person that he hates the most.
Yeah,
Did Clarisse see herself because she hates herself? Like, she is so hard on herself that
absolutely.
that is the person. Is that it? So that's the theory you subscribe to.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's a theory I've subscribed to. And to be honest, like I think it's a person that you hate the most, but the person that causes you the most insecurity in your life. I think
Ooh,
it's more so
okay.
that. I don't know if it's that Clarice is so self-loathing, but her not being who she wants to be, that brings her the most insecurity. So you see the person that will shake you the most. I think it's like, it really is that. You see the person that will shake you the most prior to going on the quest, probably in the Oracle's head, because it will prepare you for what you're about to face, to be shaken, getting your
Oh,
prophecy before you go. But I think at the time, Clarice sees her perfect version of herself because it shakes her the most, because she knows that she's not there. Even no matter how hard she tries, she's not there. And I think if she knew what Thalia looked like before going to see the Oracle, she would have absolutely seen Thalia.
ooh, I
Like,
like that a lot. I
fully.
like that.
Thalia is everything that I was supposed to be. My dad basically had me or molded me to be like second best to Thalia, because he has his own wounds with his dad. He's trying to show his dad, like, look, I can be just like you. I can be just as good as you. Look at what I can do with my kid. And when I see Thalia, it's like everything about me is reduced to any of my achievements, what I've done. It's all reduced down to, you do it better. I can't ever be that. You're what I was supposed to be. So I think if I knew what Thalia looked like prior to seeing the Oracle, I totally would have seen her.
That is very fun, because I don't know. I would have to reread the books, but I don't know that there's a lot of Thalia Clarice crossover. I don't know that there's a whole lot where they interact.
There's
So
not at
whether
all.
it happens in the show or not, that's an interesting thing. Even if it doesn't like happen on the screen, the fact that you are thinking about that dynamic shows how much effort and dedication you put into representing Clarice on screen. But that's so fascinating, because it's not something I ever considered, but it absolutely makes sense. Like, yeah,
Thank
she
you.
would want to be that type of strong character that people look up to, especially being, top fighting woman on camp.
Hmm.
Now here comes a child of the big three. Ooh,
Top
that's really
fighting
deep. I
woman,
really like
child
it.
of the big three, like strong morals, like is able to
Also
say
uses a
FU to her dad and
spear.
not be scared. Has no, and yeah, everything down to the spear. Like the electric spear. Dude, I literally, my dad tried to make
Yes.
me a better version of her. Like
Oh,
completely.
man. Well, of course, this comes at the end of the interview. I'm ready to do another full hour on just this, but you have been very gracious with your time. This is delightful. I look forward to speaking with you again. Hopefully, this will happen in the future as season 3 comes around. But thank you so much, Dior, for taking the time. Is there anything you want to promote out to the folks anything aside from watch Percy Jackson wherever you get your Percy Jackson?
I don't think so. Watch Percy Jackson wherever you get Percy Jackson. I know the fans are going to be so pissed at me, but I promise you at some point I will release more music. I promise. Girl, I'm just in a situation.
Okay. You're just a little busy? You just got a couple of things going on?
I'm just busy. I'm busy. Watch Percy Jackson. Watch Wayfinders. Watch Daniel just had a film come out. Watch his film. Charlie is on the new Star Wars series, like doing voiceover work. Go watch that. Go support your Percy branch offs. Go do that.
Amazing. Perfect way to fill the gap between season 2 and 3. Very excited that season 3 will be coming out this year. But Dior, thank you so much for joining. Listeners, thank you for listening. And until we cross paths again, I'll Percy you later.